We're going to try to make this body. I've got this great stuff triple expanding foam. Never used it before. It could be an interesting experience. Let's get some down on this side. Gotta get gloves on. Alright, we're going to let that expand for a little bit. See how that goes.
Put a lot more on this side.
Yep, I'm getting the water. Gotta spray the water in. Let's see. You gotta get it wet. Gotta get gloves on. There's spare pairs down there. I think they're right down next to the ladder. Right over there. See them?
No. It's alright, you do your stuff.
Find them? Need to get in here. In that little hole I just made.
You're not in. Okay. Where are you going with it though? Is this going to come right out? Cool.
Going into this little crevice cavity that I have. Alright. Let that expand for a little bit. Do the other side some more.
You just stick it straight down in here? Just keep it there, Will.
Got some legs. Do those look like legs to you?
Small person.
Small person. These have to be stumps. Alright, now let's try some arms.
Yeah, just turn this up. Hold it in here. Sticking all the way up. Push it up further. Okay.
Alright. Wait, get this out of the way as well. Ready?
Nope. Okay.
Ready?
Yep, don't pull it until it's under.
It's alright. We'll leave it in there too. There's also a run there.
Not so fast. There, like that. Stop. Turn. Go. Okay.
It's got a tumor.
Now that kind of works pretty good where you just really fill it.
That's much smaller than I thought it would be. Or this puffs up.
Well, that's...
I think it may have puffed.
Oh wow, we're gonna have
Not
a
sure. Puffed.
child. This is cool.
Definitely got two more screws.
Okay. Until you see it round. Okay. Okay.
What's that?
Because otherwise we're gonna have a quite lopsided individual. The other arm's not quite as long.
Okay,
We
flanking
can
it?
fill in and.
Oh, and the other end.
Quite an operating office.
Okay, Joe. So,
It's probably good.
now this stuff will get stiff, so if you wanna shake the arms,
Right.
take it away, cause they'll stay rigid once you get it.
Let's see, we got one.
You wanna fill this up more while we're,
Sure.
cram it all the way in. Right down into the foam a little bit, okay. Yeah. Slow. Okay, we have to do chest cavity yet, or?
Yeah, I've got another can.
Oh, okay. Down this way. It's a reversible liposuction.
There we go.
Yeah.
Give this woman some thighs.
Baby got back.
What?
Can you push it down a little more? There you go. Okay. Good. Yeah, what do you think? Okay.
Now that's gonna get pushed up into the t-shirt. So it's gonna go right. There. Actually, I think,
Well, we could fill these up more if you want to. Most of your operations will be up here.
yeah, I just need little stubs.
Okay.
Alright, we don't need a neck, I don't think. I'm not gonna worry too much
Do you
about
have
it.
a head, or you?
I don't know if I'm gonna have a head or not yet. I haven't decided.
Let's have somebody volunteer to stick.
Oh, I was thinking a head would be really cool because the braid is really cool. The braids are quite expensive. Unless I made one out of foam.
Okay. Yeah, you have to be careful. Okay, what's next?
Body
Body?
cavity. Let's start at the bottom, down at like this opening and try to get up to here, and then we'll start with the neck opening.
Here, let me get over this way.
I'll go on the other side.
You can come right here, so you're on the camera.
Looks like intestines. We have to make some intestines still too. Out of this stuff.
You getting low?
I think so, because I'm pushing pretty hard.
You're shaking.
Shaking.
Shouldn't have to press that hard, as long as the valve's open.
Shut up.
Oh, God! Has a little gas.
Shut up. Alright, I think I'm out.
Okay, let me get the other one. You want me to?
Kind of. Oh, no, shit.
Well, actually.
Mom?
Six pack. Want a six pack on this?
Here.
for you on my stomach.
Pull. Oh.
Here, tell you what, let's use the same thing. Sometimes you never know what you need. That can still be available.
Got it, got it. That is sticky. We got one for you.
What else you need to do now with this?
Can you talk, or would you rather I just talk through this
Here.
phone to her? It's Lauren.
Tell Lauren to come over and help.
She's making her body.
Now, do you want this? Do you want, no, okay. Do you want this much bigger here, in proportion to the body?
A little bit bigger.
Coming out
Yeah, get
the
that off your
child
shirt.
instead of an adult.
Can you help get this off my shirt here? Yeah, keep it up, straight up, straight down. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Now this way. Straight up and down. All right, you need big enough to open up and put stuff in, right?
So we're getting a little bambino?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
It's gonna take a lot of stuff.
We got 3 cans.
You don't think it will expand any more than
No,
that?
probably not. It might.
Well, could you put more in?
Yeah.
I should probably go get more.
What, how many cans have
Now,
you
Lauren
used?
did some up that she's coming over.
No, she's not coming. How many cans have you
This is
used?
my second can right here.
Oh, wow.
How much is this stuff between what, $7?
6-ish. Alright, let's.
But you shape it.
You gotta get the organs in,
You can get more.
down in there. You need a big thoracic cavity. Right in here. I need more right there. Which end do you think would be best?
Straight up and down.
Shut up! Alright, let's try that.
Nope. If you push it too much, it'll probably won't.
Flatten it out.
Yeah. You just kind of shape it.
That's cute, isn't it? Look like a body? Sort of?
Sort of.
With stubby legs?
Just stay the clothes on it, right? I mean,
Yeah. I don't think the shirt will come off.
you know, okay.
Should we make a big ball for the head, or do we have an old soccer ball or something we can use?
Oh, there's something. You're touching stuff over.
I don't need a head. Brains are expensive. They can deal without a brain. 'Cause
Just tell them it's a girl.
Roger Henry. No, this guy didn't die, this individual.
That's Joan of Arc. Or who got decapitated.
Lots of people got decapitated.
Oh, that's who it is. That's,
Alright guys,
Sleepy Hollow.
cause of death on this one's rather obvious. It would be decapitation. Alright, I'm gonna make some intestines real quick. We'll be able to peel them off the plastic, right?
I think.
Let's make some intestines.
See if I have some wax paper or something instead. Dear, you have some wax paper? Okay. If that'll work either, but I think I'll have a better chance of getting it out.
So cute.
Okay, doctor, what do you need?
Just a sheet of it.
Of course, I can make some intestines.
Like this?
Yeah.
Alright. You're not gonna have a big enough chest cavity for all your organs.
If I get veal ones, I will. Veal organs instead of cow organs.
That's not gonna have Is that what they look like?
Sort of.
I thought they'd be more interesting.
It is now.
You make brain like that too.
There's some organ. There's some intestines. Ooh, small intestines. We need a large intestine. Let's make a large intestine. Don't touch that with your gloves on.
Right. What are you doing now?
I'm making a large intestine. Small intestine a little more. Oh, that's wider than the body. Should we make the body a little wider? Or should we consolidate?
Well, the shoots come off the side.
Shut up. Here it comes. Okay. What's that?
Shoots them up this side. Try to have it just expand by itself. I mean, not fill up airspace, not, pulling out. So, I don't know, I'm trying to tell you. Put it where it can expand the best. It's hard trying to push other form.
Okay, let's try that. Now it's a fat child. Beautiful. What do you think? How's it look from behind the camera?
Looks good. Crepe. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just gonna try to push that date off, but I can't touch it.
Alright, we're gonna let this dry for a few hours. We can just let it dry for a few hours.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn it off.
This is the victim of an unknown death, and so we are going to do an autopsy to see how this victim died. We'll begin by cutting open the shirt after we've looked over the exterior to see if we can find any puncture wounds, etc., that would indicate a foul play. We always cut in a Y formation. That way, when we cut the body, we are cutting around the sternum. So, once we get this shirt cut open here, Then we'll go into the body. Okay?
Mhm.
All right,
He should be in it.
Dad. All right, now we have cut open the body. We used a bone saw to break the ribs in the sternum, and that piece has been cut aside. And we have begun to try to open it up so we can look at the organs. First thing you do is you take samples of all the body fluids, and I've already taken the urine sample and the blood sample. Blood sample comes directly from the heart, and the urine sample comes from the bladder. Next thing you do is you take tissue sample. I started with the fascia, which is like the fatty layer, and the part that I viewed didn't have any irregularities in it. You can see that it looks normal. And that goes in the bag. Next I have the intestines, the small intestines and the large intestine. And so we're going to check those for some irregularities, see if we see anything that looks abnormal. The more slices that we cut across the intestines, the better that we can look down the lengths of the tubes and check for different changes in the tissue. We're looking for color changes, texture changes, we're looking for tumors, we're looking for anything that could possibly be related to this victim's death. And then we do the same thing with the large intestines. And then that goes in the slot bag as well. Because this is human tissue, eventually all of the organs will be returned to the body. We're going to use a smaller instrument for some of the smaller organs. We can start here with a piece of the liver. I already took the liver into some pieces just so that it's easier to see. So here's some liver.
Pause, when you take the next piece out.
And so once again, we're just going to begin by cutting to see if there's any irregularities. And if we don't see any, all of this tissue looks normal. However, this part down here is a little bit hard, which could indicate some cirrhosis of the liver, most likely from consumption of large amounts of alcohol. Put that over there for now. You can see where it gets harder to cut, and there's a little bit more red color. It doesn't appear to be abnormal except for that cirrhosis part. So what we're going to do then, because we have some abnormal, possibly abnormal tissue in the hardened area, we're going to cut that off. And we're going to set that aside. All of the pieces that I set aside will then be saved in formaldehyde for later testing should that be necessary. Next organ we're going to look at would be the kidney. Now this is the,
Show it to the camera.
here's one of the kidneys. And we're going to check it as well for any abnormal tissue. And when we do this again, we're cutting it as small sections as possible. And if you look in here, you can kind of see the different parts of the kidney. You can see that, let's try one of these bigger sections. You can see some of the tubing. You can see how the urine would be filtered. And here on the back, you can look at some more of the connective tissues that surround the kidney. And we really don't need those because they're what I've already taken samples of the fascia. So we can get rid of those. And then even though we don't see anything abnormal, we're going to save a piece of this in the formaldehyde, so we're going to put that over here as well. The next organ that we're going to look at would be the heart. First thing we're going to do with the heart is check externally to see if it looks like there's anything abnormal.
I see it in the camera.
Here's the aorta. We're going to look around. We don't see anything abnormal. There's no blockage here.
Hold still.
Alright, we're going to begin then. We're going to start at the bottom of the heart. Once again, making small incisions. And we're going to check the chambers. Now there's a little bit of coagulated blood, and that's expected after a death. So we're going to try to get some of that out of the way. The important thing is that there's no blockage, there's nothing unusual. Now, what we believe happened in this death was that the victim died, well, other than the obvious that the victim doesn't have a head, we believe that the victim died as a result of a fire, although the reason we're doing this autopsy was to see if the victim burned or died of smoke inhalation. And from the organs that we have looked at so far, it appears that there's no, that the organs aren't really kind of like meat, they aren't cooked. They're still preserved in a natural, healthy state. And so from that, we can conclude that the victim more than likely died from smoke inhalation. We're going to save a piece of that heart as well. Now, the way that we would check for sure to see if our results are correct, if we had a head, which this victim does not, which makes this fire possibly a suspicious fire, would be that we would check the tongue. If the tongue is blackened and kind of cooked, then that would indicate that that was the only part. And we can check in the nasal fibers to see if the victim had smoke inhalation through the nose. Then we would take out, when we've already looked at the heart and some of the other organs, we would look at the lungs. Now, the lungs in this case are going to be kind of messy, so that's why I don't want to show them to you guys. But what we'd look for would be in the trachea and the bronchial tubes. We'd look for a blackening. And also the lungs, which would normally have more of the color of tissue of the liver, maybe more this pinkish color of the kidney. And that would also indicate a carbon monoxide presence. One of the theories in this fire death would be that the victim was passed out from alcohol and when the fire broke out, and therefore was unable to exit before he died of smoke inhalation. It's just the head that's suspicious. So we're going to wait and check on the tox reports for the blood. We want to see what the blood alcohol content is and if there's any other substances there that could cause impairment. We want to check on the urine sample to see also for alcohol and for other substances. We're specifically looking in the fire remains for anything that could possibly give clues to how this fire was set. We're not sure if the victim's head was, the victim was found a few days after the fire. We're not sure if the victim's head was attached when the victim died or not. So that's another thing that we need to look into when we go up through the neck area. We can see how long the tissues have been separated, give or take. And so that's another thing that we will be doing. But pretty much we can assume that this victim died of smoke inhalation because the lungs were blackened in this color when I looked at them, and the organs are tender and not cooked. So with that, we can go ahead and put all the organs back into the body, because a human body needs to be buried with all of its parts, or all human parts need to be buried. And so because all human parts need to be buried, we will go ahead and must have another body. We will go ahead and put all the organs back, and then when we close up the body, we'll just sew it back up, and actually my assistant will do that. We'll sew the body back up and send it off to whichever funeral home the family has requested. And that's actually my assistant's job, like I said. So I'm done. And so now I have to go write a lab report, or write up my findings in a report for the police. And I may be called to testify if this ends up to be a suspicious fire in a criminal investigation. So thank you. This is how an autopsy is done. And if you have any questions, I'm sure Mr. Scar or whoever your biology teacher is would be happy to answer them. Just for a disclaimer, no people were hurt in the filming of this video. All of these organs were found at the local meat market, and so no animals, well, aside from the ones that were at the meat market, were injured, and no people were used in the filming of this video.
That's for dinner.
Yeah, and if you'd like liver and onions, come on out. Hi, I'm Juliette'S. This past semester I've been working on an independent study with Mr. Scar about biology, specifically the application of biology in the real world. For my project, I went and worked with the DuPage County Crime Lab. I not only went and saw the lab and looked at their ballistics analysis and how they match firearms to bullets, I looked at their drug chemistry instruments and how they identify drugs. I looked at fingerprinting, I looked at DNA, and then for the culmination of my project, I went and viewed an autopsy. And so in this video you will see photos from still shots from my trip to the crime lab and some of the instruments that we saw. You'll also see a demo autopsy, and then last but not least you will see some stills of the autopsy, and that's where you'll see the real close-up of some of the organs. And so enjoy. Stop that.